Hey there, replay viewers. I so appreciate you as always. Make sure you drop me a hi right down there in the comments. I want to know when you hopped on, and I want to say hi back to you and let you know how much I appreciate you hopping on my video. Hey guys, it is Jody Dunn coming at you live tonight, and I have kind of a heavy subject tonight. So, most of you probably know me that watch my videos for some upbeat, some fun-loving, some smiley, maybe some fun tutorials. Maybe I'm teaching you something, and hopefully I'll teach you something tonight. But hey, Jamie, thanks for joining. This is going to be a heavier video. This is not going to be all smiles and laughs. This is not going to be me showing you a fun makeup look. So if you're not in the mood for something heavy, then I'm gonna let you know right now. Go ahead, exit stage left, because we're gonna get into it tonight. I feel like this is a serious subject, and I'm gonna get a little vulnerable tonight, and it makes me super, super nervous, like incredibly nervous. I am well over 70 days of lives, consecutive days, and I sat here for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, staring at my phone again, because I get worked up and I get nervous when I make the decision that I'm going to get on and share something really personal. So, all right, so let's get started. I think this is a great subject. I think that I need to hear this often. I need to be reminded of this, and hopefully you're going to get some value out of this. So I want to talk about the phrase or the saying, why is this happening to me? So have you ever had a situation in your life where something bad happened to you, or multiple bad things happened to you, or somebody hurt you in your life that you really cared about, or things just weren't going your way and you were on hard times and you just said to yourself, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Or why does this continue to happen to me? Get through one thing and then 4 more things show up. Why can I not catch a break? I mean, I think it's safe to say we've all done that, right? I certainly have multiple times. We're human. And what I have learned over the past few years is how incredibly destructive that is to say and to think. It's basically when you say, why is this happening to me? You are taking away all of your power, all of your power. And I'm not saying that bad things don't happen, that we don't go through challenging times, because we all do, and we're all going to continue, right? Life is not always in our favor as far as things not coming up as a challenge. I'm actually reading a book right now called The Obstacle is the Way, and it's really given me some great insights, and it really talks about how obstacles happen for a reason, and they are what shape us into becoming, if we choose to be, into becoming so much stronger. So I really want to challenge you to stop saying things like, why is this happening to me? Or why does this continue to happen to me? Because you have the power, you have the 100% power to change that. You get to decide what happens from here. So sitting back and saying, why does this keep happening to me, is just going to make things continue to happen to me, and you've lost all your power. So it's time to take back your power. It's time to change your situation. So I want to share a situation with you, and I want to share with you how do you start doing that? And it's not going to be easy, especially if you've lived a life like I did for many years. Anytime something bad happened or didn't go the way I wanted to go, why is this happening to me? Like, I always felt like it was happening to me. Start asking yourself, why is this happening for me? Why is this happening for me? not to me, for me. What can I learn from this? Because the truth is, life doesn't happen to us. Life happens for us. And you have to believe that, and you have to know that you have the power to make those changes. So I'm going to take you quite a ways back here, and I'm going to try not to ramble too much. I might talk too fast because I'm super nervous to share this. But so when my husband and I got married, we purchased a home. And it was in 1995, and it was a very, very small home. It was a great starter home. It was like 1,100 square foot, and we were thrilled. Like, we didn't take a honeymoon or anything like that. We used the money that we had for a down payment on our house, and we were just absolutely thrilled to be very, very young homeowners. And the housing market back then was pretty ridiculous. We ended up buying a house in Flint, and to the dismay of some of my family members, but back then, Flint was not like a horrible place to live. And the area that we moved into in Flint was a pretty decent area. We paid like a lot of money for the house we moved to. And one of the reasons why we chose that house was because everything else we were finding in different areas, the price was so ridiculous that we couldn't afford it. I mean, we were looking at 800 square foot houses for the price that we got a 1,150 square foot house. And the house was super well maintained. Like, we didn't have to do anything to it. And so we made that decision to purchase that house. And so, you know, a couple years later, we had Grayson, which was fine. We lived, like I said, it was teeny. It was 3 bedrooms, very, very small bedrooms. Our room actually had a half of a closet. Half. It did not have a full closet. It was half of a closet. And we had 1 bathroom in the house, but it was perfect for us. So, you know, things started to change in the housing market, right? And things started booming, and house prices were like going up like crazy. Remember all of this? People were buying outrageous houses, and they were getting financed for interest only with the balloon payment after 5 years. And, you know, they were $300,000 houses that they really couldn't afford, but that's just what was happening in the housing market. And there were so many times when I thought, you know, it's starting to get a little bit not as safe as it was here. Maybe we should start thinking about moving. And I just kept thinking, no, we're not ready. We don't have enough money saved for a down payment, you know, yada, yada, yada. Everything's not lining up. It's not perfect. So then we had Viv in 2008, and the housing market crashed. I mean, crashed, right? We all remember that. And people were losing their homes left and right because now the home values were so low. People couldn't get their balloons refinanced because their house wasn't worth that. It was a horrible time in America. It didn't affect us really personally as a family. You know, we still had our mortgage with an extremely high interest rate. I think when we financed our house, it was like 8.5% or 9%, something like that, because that's just what it was back then. So we had Viv, and it was fine. We were a little crammed in. We had the 3 bedrooms. So each, you know, we had our bedroom, Grayson had hers, and Viv had hers. And then 22 months later, Donna came. And now we were busting at the seams. 3 baby girls. Well, Grayson was 11 or 13 when Donna was born. So we had 3 girls, my husband, and this teeny little house with 1 bathroom. We had to take the dresser out of my kids' room because I couldn't fit 2 cribs in there without it. And we had the cribs like butted up to each other, right? Okay. So no big deal. We're busting at the seams. people make it. That wasn't any type of driving force there. Yes, I would have loved to have another bathroom. Yes, I would have loved to have more room. Like, our house was just filled with toys. You couldn't see anything. It was just craziness. But here's what happened, you guys. The neighborhood started to get really, really bad. My car got broken into in my driveway. We didn't have a garage. We came home one time and we could see footprints on our back door that looked like somebody was trying to bust into our house while we were away, which of course scared the crap out of me. And it progressively got worse and worse and worse. There was break-ins all over. There was a ton of foreclosures in our neighborhood, everywhere else. But in our neighborhood as well, there was a ton of foreclosures of people that had lost their homes. So you had empty houses all around. One night, this was just right before Donna was born. And it happened on my birthday. So I woke up on my birthday and my husband had went outside and he comes running back in the house and he's like, somebody broke into your car last night. And I was like, oh my gosh, again? And so I go outside and I look and it's my back window had a hole in it, like a super teeny small hole. And I was like, that looks like a bullet hole. And he was like, no, I don't think so. I think somebody like tried to hit it with a rock or something like that. The window wasn't like quite shattered yet. It was like, the spidery all over. So he climbed into the back of my vehicle and found a bullet. So it was indeed a bullet hole. And my car was parked right next to my home. And the window at the front of the house was Grayson's room. And all I could think about was, oh my gosh, what if this stray bullet that I don't know where it came from would have been a few inches over and came into the house and into Grayson's room and hurt her? Like, that scared the crap out of me. But now we're in a situation where the housing market has crashed and our house is literally, you guys, worth less than $10,000. And we still owed an ungodly amount of money, like $60,000 or $70,000 on it. So what do you do? How do you sell it? So, okay, let's try to ride this out. And so then we had Donna, and this was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. We had Donna. We had Grayson in school of choice at Goodrich. So I had packed up my car. Viv was, less than 2. Donna was a baby. Pack Grayson up to drive her to school and come home. And there's police across the street. This is like 9 a.m. at this point. So there's police across the street. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on? And we had this really crazy neighborhood watch guy that was always watching everything. And, he'd keep us updated and blah, blah, blah. So I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, do you know what's going on? Well, so what happened was the neighbor that was across the street from me, 2 houses over, had driven her child to school that morning, pulled into her driveway, and a young kid got right in her face as she opened her car door with a gun and told her to get in the house, that he was going to do some very horrific things to her. And she just happened to have hot coffee and threw it in his face and started screaming bloody murder. And it was, like I said, 9 a.m. And there was actually some people outside that came running to her rescue. And the kid took off in her car and she was completely traumatized, of course, and never came back to that home because she just couldn't. And that was it for me. All I could think about was, what if that would have been me? What if that would have been me with 2 babies in the back of my car? What would I have done? So we made the decision that obviously we had to move. We had to move. It was a matter of safety for my children and for us. And so we found a house, and we were so, oh my gosh, we were so lucky, you guys. So blessed. There isn't a week that goes by that I still don't say thank you so much for this home. Thank you so much for bringing this home to me. We found a foreclosed home that was in perfect condition. I mean, perfect. The only thing we had to do was the hot water heater was broken. It was in perfect condition. And because the market was so low and interest rates were so low, we literally were able to purchase this house for $30 more than what we were paying when we lived in that teeny house. And we are in double the house now. And it was such a blessing. But here was the problem, and here was the challenge. We couldn't afford to pay 2 mortgage payments and 2 taxes and homeowners insurance and all of that other stuff. So there are hardly any people that know this. And I don't know why, but I just do. I have a terrible, very hard time being so vulnerable because, we all have that, like, what are people going to think of you? You don't want people to think bad of you. But we filed bankruptcy, and that was the hardest decision that I have ever made in my life. I felt like such a complete loser. We worked so hard for so many years, and I felt like we were doing things so responsibly. Not jumping on, the bandwagon of let's go get a $300,000 house and do an interest-only payment with a balloon after 5 years, and get in this amazing house and sell our house. I just felt like that wasn't the financially responsible thing to do. And then we were put into the situation where now I felt like our lives were at risk every day. And I didn't know what to do because I wanted to be financially responsible and honor my obligations, but I wanted my children to be safe and for us to be safe. And, it was so hard. And I have a very, very good friend that had me call his brother, and I talked to his brother, and something similar had happened to him. And, I just kind of expressed to him, like, this just feels so wrong. It feels bad. I just don't feel good about this. And he said, Jody, it is your right as a parent to protect your child. That is your top priority. Your being fiscally responsible comes below that. And he made me feel a lot better, but I still felt like a loser. I felt like a loser. And so why did that happen for me? For me, not to me. It taught me so many things. It taught me that waiting until everything is perfect and lining up exactly how you think it should line up before you take a jump just isn't always the best decision. And it taught me that I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Oh, this is so hard. It taught me that I don't ever want to be in that situation again. So what do I need to do to make sure that that never happens again? And it was such a horrible, depressing time to go through. And it really changed my perspective on so many things. And it made me realize through all of that, through that huge challenge, through that huge obstacle, that I am so capable of way more than I was ever doing, that I am so worthy of success, and that for me, writing it out and being comfortable isn't enough. It's not enough for me. And it has allowed me to take risks that I would have never, ever taken. It has opened up this huge world of growing myself every single day by learning. You know, you guys all know I started a business a couple of years ago. Like, that was a huge risk. I put my face on video. Oh my God, talk about the scariest thing I have ever done, because I never wanted to go through that situation again. And I never wanted to feel like so completely helpless. So that's what that did for me, not to me. Because things don't happen to you. They happen for you. And you have to figure out, why is this happening for me? And what can I learn from this? And what could I possibly do differently in the future? I see a lot of people, and I'm sorry if this offends you, but I see a lot of people talking about how they don't have money for this, or how they don't have money for that, or they're broke. I don't even like saying that word. You will never, ever see me say that I don't have the money for something, ever, on Facebook. And if there is something that happens in my life that I want, and I'm just not there yet, then I figure out a plan. Okay, how do we make this happen? What do I have to do to get this in place? Because when you talk about how you don't have money for this or you don't have money for that, all you are doing is speaking that into existence to continue that pattern and that behavior. You have all of the power to change your situation if you decide to. So don't stay in that mentality. Don't stay in the, why did this happen to me? It didn't happen to you. It happened for you, for a good reason. So look at it and figure it out, and make sure that you gain some perspective on it and you get stronger. So maybe that particular challenge doesn't happen for you again, because you grew from it and you learned from it. But if you keep talking about why it happened to you, it's just going to keep happening over and over and over. Life happens for you, not to you. Okay. That's it, I think. I'm sweating again. I think in my 70 some days, this is only the third live that I have done where I have really shared something very personal that was very difficult for me and very hard for me to be vulnerable. So I really, truly hope the only reason I did it is because I wanted to help somebody else. I want somebody that is in the situation right now where they think all these bad things are happening to them to hear this message and go, wait a minute, maybe she's right. Maybe it's happening for me and not to me, and maybe I really can change this. All right, you guys, that's what I have for you tonight. I hope you got something out of this, and I'm sorry that it wasn't my normal throwing around makeup and laughing and all that other stuff, but I promise I'll be back tomorrow with something fun. All right, you guys, have a fabulous evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate you. Bye.